All right, now joining us on Tennis Channel Inside In, really delighted to talk to these guys, the Wimbledon 2024 doubles champions. An exciting story, an exciting match, and a lot to discuss with these two gentlemen who have quite the backstory. Henry Patten from Great Britain, Harri Heliövaara from Finland. Guys, thanks for joining the show. And does that sound weird at this point? That's the first question. Wimbledon champs, have you gotten used to it yet?
Yeah, I think we've probably heard it enough times now. Yeah, it obviously sounds right in some ways, but yeah, it's still kind of a pinch me moment that we were lucky enough to experience a few weeks ago. I don't think either of us would have expected to be in that position, but yeah, here we are, and yeah, try and take it in our stride, I guess, and own it a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of looking at your backstories, each of you, it's just such a unique perspective. I guess the first question that I'd have is, and Harri, if you want to answer this one, it's almost like a real life story. It's how did you guys find each other? Because I know tennis is a journey and finding a partnership is kind of a hidden knowledge, hidden gem. So you guys just did not start playing together until literally a few months ago. Have had a couple titles, obviously the Wimbledon one. How did you guys find each other and realize that this could be a real partnership?
Yeah, like you say, it's a little bit of mystery how you end up together. It's like kind of like dating, I would say. You're trying to look for the right person to be next to you on a tennis court. Yeah, obviously we were. Yeah, I played with another British player before, so I played with Lloyd Glasspool in the past for a couple of years, and I knew that the British system helped me a lot during my career earlier, and that relationship ended about a year ago, and beginning of this year I was searching for a new partner. At that time Henry wasn't available. The British coach Louis Kyer kind of like hinted me a little bit that Henry might be a very good partner for me, and I also watched him play a little bit at the end of last year. Felt like, yeah, I could really use a guy like that on my side. Big guy, lefty serve, very good volleys, improved his returns recently as well. But yeah, we were both looking at the same time at the end of March, and I think that was the key. Of course, you got to look at the rankings, the fit, who plays ad side, who plays use side, all of that. But yeah, when we got together and spoke about it in Acapulco, Mexico in March, I think that was when we both felt like, okay, we didn't know each other that well before, but when we had a discussion, it felt very, very good. And obviously, right now it feels like it was the best decision we could have made.
Yeah, I know, Harri, you've said you bring the experience and the passion to the mix and the doubles tandem. Henry, I wanted to ask you, the first tournament was success. You win in Marrakesh and you go on to win a couple more times. Was there pressure, or is there pressure when you're starting a new partnership to succeed early, or do you kind of take the bigger approach every time?
I don't think necessarily there's pressure to succeed early. I think, yeah, generally it's accepted that there might well be a few weeks where, you're getting used to playing with a new player. I know, certainly our first match, I was all over the place during that match, and yeah, I mean, I felt pressure in a way because I was already, quite invested in the partnership and wanted Harri to feel like he had a good partner in me. So yeah, that first match was a little interesting. You played pretty well, I seem to remember. But yeah, since that match, we've both managed to play well and help each other in difficult moments. And yeah, understand that neither of us is going to play perfectly or even well all the time. I think that's why we've had success. Is usually the other one's there to kind of help the other one out a little bit in those moments. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have said there was pressure to succeed straight away, but I wanted to impress Harri a little bit on our first date, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it seems like it certainly succeeded. I also wanted to mention too, you guys have been open about getting along and the camaraderie outside of the tennis court. Kind of an open-ended question, but is that vital for success? Have you had it in the past where you can succeed with someone that you might not gel with, or do you think it does give you that added success and added ability on the court that you guys are such friends off of it?
You can do both. I think I've had experience in the past where with your partner you wouldn't you wouldn't think about going for dinner together. It would be more like a business relationship. And now this is the different end of the perspective. Like we have a good time hanging out of outside the court. We might go play golf, and we might want to have dinners together. And we have a good team as well. That's something it's good to keep in mind. That like Ellie, Henry's girlfriend, was there for a couple of months when we started playing. And like all of that really made us feel a little bit closer to each other, and it has helped us. But for others, I'm sure there's also the other way of doing things.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
depends.
no,
Yeah, depends completely. In the past, I've been lucky with my partners in that they've been good friends of mine, both Julian Cash and Francisco Cabral. But yeah, you see, very successful pairs who it's much more of a business relationship. I think both can work, and I think for us, it suits us to have a good friend out there. So yeah, it's worked out well.
Okay. So I want to get in just a little bit about each of your backgrounds quickly. For Harri, growing up in Scandinavia, an area that I don't think enough people realize the importance of tennis in, and it hasn't been what you would consider a hotbed compared to other countries. But what was it like discovering the game, excelling at it, and then getting to the point where you're ready to leave your home region, going from Scandinavia to the world and chasing this tennis dream?
Yeah, I still think I've been lucky that I've been able to live there in Helsinki for all my life, and I think that's been something that really worked for me. But of course, traveling is part of the tennis a lot. And we from Finland, we've always had one or two good players on the tour, and Jarkko Nieminen was the singles guy for many years, and Henri Kontinen, who was number one in doubles, who was kind of the role model for me to go more towards the doubles game. And I mean, it's a small country, but I've always had good support from my family, from other players. We're not that many, so maybe that brings us closer. So I feel like I'm very happy. I'm from Finland and very happy to live there still.
We've seen a lot of athletic success from Finland for sure across the board. You're adding to that lineage as well. And Henry, I just wanted to ask you, and I know you've probably gotten this before, but how'd you discover UNC Asheville from all the way across the pond? Because I'm familiar with that school, but I don't know that a lot of worldwide tennis fans are. You obviously succeeded there getting the number one doubles, but what brought you to North Carolina, Asheville?
Yeah, by chance, really. My coach at the time in the UK was Andrew Richardson, and the coach at UNC Asheville, Tom Hand, grew up playing with Andrew. So he was originally a Brit. I think it's fair to say he's been fully Americanized now, but yeah, he grew up playing with Andrew Richardson, and yeah, there was a link there. And Sarah Borwell was also involved in me kind of choosing a school and helping me along with that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go and visit schools, which, I mean, especially now seems to be quite common practice. You want to go and see where you're going to spend 4 years of your life. Probably would have been a good decision. So yeah, I guess, I don't know, I just got lucky. And then as soon as I was there, I knew that I was in really good hands with Tom. He's a fantastic player and a great coach and role model for me off the court. And yeah, developed quite quickly. But yeah, I love Asheville. Obviously, we travel all over the world, and Asheville is definitely, in my top 3 places that I love to visit. So got lucky.
Yeah. It seems like that's part of the I don't want to say coolness, but the origin story and what makes this story and your championship at Wimbledon so special is that both of you guys come from unconventional backgrounds, not the quote unquote tennis hyped up backgrounds. And yet you went out there and did it and beat players from different, more prestigious backgrounds. So in a way, and I guess this is kind of the open-ended way to put a button on it, but it's kind of that true underdog story. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, certainly if you look at our backgrounds and well, I can't speak for Harry, but me growing up playing tennis, it was never an ambition of mine to necessarily be a professional tennis player. At the same time, at various points of my life, I've kind of made decisions that have led me towards this point. Whether that was going to UNC Asheville or going to Durham University afterwards and deciding to play professional tennis. I had to make those decisions and did. And obviously at some point, I decided to make a career out of tennis. A little bit unconventional, but yeah, I guess, I don't know, it was meant to be or something like that. there was quite a bit of hard work involved in there at various points. It has to be said.
Yeah.
But yeah, lucky and a bit of hard work, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah, it's been tremendous to watch. As we mentioned, the Wimbledon Championship that was an unprecedented run, culminated in an amazing final where you guys took the title. But Harri, looking at that run and how it started, I know there was a dicey quarterfinal match in there where you had to battle back to win. Did it feel special as it was going on, or did you get lost in the moment? Were there inklings that this could be something big, this could be something special as the run progressed?
Yeah, I would say the first round was a very difficult match. It was against Boleli Vavasori, who were the number ones in the race at that time, and they've been in the final of both Aussie Open and French Open this year. But we got through that match, I think 6-3, 6-4, very convincing win. At that moment when we won that match, I knew that okay, this could be the beginning of something very good, and I think it was a great story. Our coach Calvin Betton, he after every match he showed with his fingers how many matches do we have left.
Wow.
And after the first round win, he said 5 more to go, and well, very funny. But towards the end of the tournament, it really happened. So, but after the final, it was pretty cool to say that 0 matches left.
That seems, and that's really cool, but that doesn't seem like something tennis players would generally like. They wouldn't be like, no, don't remind me. Like, I got my next match, head down. But you guys embraced it, so that's another unique thing about you boys.
Yeah, we weren't afraid of it, but we felt like, yeah, this could really happen.
Henry, as you kind of played this tournament again, being British and having the knowledge and experience of being at Wimbledon, the story about you working in IBM StatCast covering the event too. When did you, or was there a point when you started to feel really comfortable out there? Because it can be a lot for any player to play at Wimbledon, but especially a British player where the nerves can just be so much and it can overwhelm them. When did that comfort finally happen for you?
I think probably after we played Matos and Melo, which was 3rd round, I think. So we played them on court 18, if I'm not mistaken, which is a really nice court. And then actually, I think the next day I went out, or that afternoon, I can't remember which, I went out and played my mixed doubles match with Liv Nichols, and we won there. And I don't know why, but playing on the same court twice, and in the mixed doubles, which was me and Liv against my old partner Julian Cash and Maya Lumsden, another Brit, and we're all really good friends. So I wouldn't have called it an exhibition match, but we had quite a fun, kind of relaxed game. It was competitive, of course, but basically just had a lot of fun out there. And actually, the same thing happened. So before our semi-final, late the evening before, I played on court 1 in the mixed doubles, and then the next day played on the same court in the men's doubles. So I think actually the mixed doubles really helped me to, play more tennis on those kinds of courts, which is still quite unfamiliar for me, but also just helped me to feel relaxed out there. And obviously with Harri next to me, it's easy for me to be relaxed because he takes care of all of the celebrations and the crazy stuff that he's so famous for.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I want to get to that
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I want to get to the celebrations a little later for sure. But I think it's cool too because all due respect to Harri, Henry, you kind of helped win the crowd out there, and I think as you look at that final, you started to see the influence of having a local guy in that match, which was just incredible. Obviously, the match itself was, as many people said, one of the best doubles matches they've seen. Harri, the Aussies, and Purcell and Thompson. And I hope it's all good with you guys in Australia. I hope you didn't ruffle any feathers by denying them that title. But it was a great match, and it was a match that you guys were having to fight tooth and nail to stay in the fight, to save all those championship points. How are you able to keep your head above water just enough to give yourself a chance to succeed? Because they obviously brought it, and you guys made just enough shots, just enough plays to get that title.
Yeah, they really served amazingly, the Australians, especially the first set, the second set as well. I think maybe because they were serving so well, we kind of understood that the only way we can win this match might be in the tie breaks, and we had a set point even the first set tie break, but even even towards the end of the second set, it felt like they were dominating the match. They didn't get the break at any time, but they were dominating with their serves. They were up in all of the tie breaks as well, and I have to admit it, we got a little lucky there, especially at the end of the second set. But maybe that was something also that helped us was the quarterfinal. That was also, we won it in the second set in a tiebreak and the third set in a tiebreak. So of course we knew that if it goes there, that's one way to win a tennis match, and we believe that we can do it one more time. We showed that we can do it one more time.
Yeah, I would imagine that's, a lot to be said for staying positive, for not getting down on yourself, for just looking for an opening. And Henry, that's the beauty of tennis, right? Is that even when you're getting outplayed, even when it seems like it can't go your way, if you just stay in the fight, stay active, stay positive, you can accomplish great things.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. Yeah, if you looked at our practice today, you might be a little bit concerned. During that match, yeah, we were incredibly resilient, I would have said. And yeah, you look at all of the statistics, and you don't look at the score, and you say, yeah, Purcell and Thompson probably for sure won that match. But yeah, it's like, the classic saying, which is you only need to win the last point. That's the most important thing in tennis, and we managed to do that somehow. So yeah, it was a massive effort. We were, I think, both incredibly proud of how we sort of conducted ourselves out there and managed to kind of hang on and fight and finally close it out.
And Harri, before I move on, I just want to point out too, as a Finnish athlete yourself, I noticed one of the shout outs that you got on winning that match was from Teemu Selänne. I grew up a big hockey fan as well, so that had to be pretty cool to see a legend of your country in all sports giving you guys a shout out, saying it was like the best doubles match you'd ever seen.
Absolutely. No, there were so many, of course, so many messages, all of that. But yeah, to see that players or athletes like that, or even the president gave me a call the day after. That's pretty special. Something different.
More on Tennis Channel Inside In with Henri Patten and Harri Heliövaara here, the Wimbledon doubles champions, joining the podcast from Cincinnati as they look to accomplish many more things in their tennis season. Question for both of you, Henry, if you wanted to start though with this: how hard is it in tennis when you accomplish anything, let alone a Grand Slam title, then hit the court again, continue to work on things and keep improving your game? I think there is obviously an issue with that in terms of any athletic sports where you achieve something and it can be hard to find the motivation to go back to work. What was that process like for your team?
Well, we took a couple of weeks off straight after Wimbledon, just to kind of try and decompress and realize what we'd accomplished. But I don't think me and Harri are short on motivation. And again, if you look at that Wimbledon final, there are plenty of areas where we could have improved. And I think we both subscribe to the theory that there are always things to improve and work on. I would guess if you ask most tennis players, they would probably fall in the same category. You kind of have to stay proactive in your thinking and your practices as well. It was nice to enjoy the moment with family and friends, but 2 weeks later you're in Washington kind of sweating for fun and trying to win matches. And we lost in the second round there. We obviously had an unfortunate incident in the first round in Montreal, but lost there, had to pull out. So we by no means feel like a complete team yet. And every day we're working on things. I think that's innate in both of us, I would say.
Yeah, and I noticed in DC as well, you can add to that list, in Harry's case, getting mic'd up, which I noticed. There was a nice little wrinkle to your doubles match there.
Yeah, the microphone thing was something new, and I was proud and happy to be the first one to do it. Don't know if that affected our performance. I hope that was not the reason we lost the second round, but it was great content for the fans, and I got a lot of support, a lot of good feedback about that. I would do it again, definitely.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I guess this is more of a question for Harri, but you both can answer this. Have you guys been showmen most of your careers, or is that something that's kind of happened recently? Because before the unfortunate situation in Cincinnati with the injury, which I'm or in Canada with the injury, which I'm glad you guys are okay. You had the shot around the net post area, and you kind of just did a little hot laugh with that to celebrate. So has that always been in your DNA as a tennis player, being a little bit of a showman?
Yeah, that's part of me. I'm outside of the tennis court. I'm pretty relaxed, maybe quite a quiet guy. But when I get on court, then it's all about the show, isn't it? We want to give the fans what they came for.
I think it's great. I think it's nice to showcase these personalities, and I think where doubles is kind of an exciting point too, where we're starting to see more of these personalities. And you're, I don't know if you would agree, Henry, with this statement, but we're getting more and more interest in doubles in recent memory, and more interest is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a good thing, and that's what we're after. Visibility of doubles. I mean, Harry, it was an amazing shot, but those kinds of shots happen quite a lot in doubles, and you don't tend to see those in singles. It's a completely different game and quite nuanced. And yeah, it's nice to see like a few more Instagram posts from the final of Montreal last week. There are some amazing points that I think the crowd really loves, and I think the Wimbledon final was proof of that for us. That you can really get some great support, and so many people came up to us, even in Washington, and said, what an amazing final it was, and it was broadcasted all over the world, and that garnered real interest. So hopefully, we can kind of capitalize on this momentum. I know the ATP are trialing some new innovations, so we'll see where that goes. But it's a great game. I love doubles, and lots of people play it, obviously. So hopefully it only gets more popular.
We're at an important time for sure, and I think it's been getting better and better as we segue into your tournaments now. Cincinnati coming up. First match as we record this is tomorrow on Wednesday. Then it's the U.S. Open. Still a lot to play for. You guys are number 5 in the race to Turin for the year-end championships. I'd have to imagine that's pretty high on your list, finishing the year going to Turin. But, in addition to that, what are the other goals you're looking forward to accomplishing or aiming to accomplish this season?
Yeah, I have to say, winning Wimbledon was maybe not yet one of the goals when we started playing together. But now that we won a Grand Slam, we want to win another one. I think it's very fair to say that we know that we are one of the top teams when we play our best, and the top teams compete to win Grand Slams, win the ATP 1000s. And we definitely want to do that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but U.S. Open is a big goal for this year, and of course we still have Cincinnati and then 2 more ATP 1000s. Do well there, and I really like Turin. I'm happy to have played there once before with Lloyd Glasspool, made the semis back then. So I think make it better this time, going to the finals of Turin, and that would be one of the biggest goals as well.
So, guys, this has been a blast. I want to end it with something fun as we wrap up Tennis Channel Inside In with Henri Patten and Harri Heliövaara. The interests off the court. So far, I know golf and I know chess in Henry's case. Is there anything else? And have you guys actually played against each other in either of those sports and activities? And how has that gone?
Phenomenal timing, because look, Harry's supposedly much better than me at golf, and I'm supposedly much better than him at chess. He thus far has refused to play me at chess. Doesn't want any part of it. But we did play golf the other day, didn't we?
I forgot.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear how that turned out. So, I guess we'll leave it at that.
That's great. That's great. No, I that's really funny. Guys, this has been a pleasure. We really appreciate your time here on the podcast. I think a lot of people are inspired by your story and proving that you can accomplish great things at any stage in the game. And we're really happy to have you on the show. That's Henri Patten and Harri Heliövaara. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Appreciate having you on Tennis Channel Inside In. All the best going forward this season and beyond.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.